I recently read Hidden Potential by Adam Grant. There is one thing that predicts your future growth more than anything else. It's not your genetics or your intelligence. It's your character skills. Character skills allow you to override your instincts and hold true to your values. Unlike personality traits, your character skills are not fixed. Researchers prove this by arranging 1,500 West African entrepreneurs into 3 groups. A control group that received no training, a second group that received cognitive skills training, like accounting and marketing skills, and a third group that learned ways to boost initiative and self-discipline. The third group grew their business and profits by an average of 30% over the next 2 years, which was 3 times more than the group that strengthened their cognitive skills. Other research shows that adults earn an average of $320,000 more over their lifetime if they had an experienced kindergarten teacher who taught them to be more proactive, cooperative, focused, and persistent. If we can strengthen similar character skills, regardless of how old we are, we will go greater distances and unlock our hidden potential. When striving to strengthen one's character, it's helpful to have an ideal who encompasses the traits and behaviors of high potential people. I call this ideal the proactive imperfectionist player. Let's isolate the first part, proactive imperfectionist, and understand why being a proactive imperfectionist is essential to unlocking potential. Most perfectionists fail to maximize their potential because they learn to hate mistakes and avoid criticism. When they make a mistake, it lowers their self-esteem and makes them think, I'm not doing that again, which shrinks their comfort zone. This way of thinking repeats, which limits their learning until they only end up doing what they know they're good at. Adam Grant is a recovering perfectionist who was held back by perfectionism as a diver in college. Grant had a habit of delaying his dives until his footwork was just perfect. At one practice, he says, I went back and forth on the board for 45 minutes without making a single attempt. As I stood there frozen, I wasn't just wasting time, I was freezing my progress. I was failing to learn hard dives and only making small refinements to easy ones. I needed to get over my perfectionism. A proactive imperfectionist is someone who attacks perfectionism head on by setting a mistake quota. For instance, a proactive imperfectionist diver pushes herself to do dives so hard that she makes at least 5 major mistakes a practice. A proactive imperfectionist learning a new language tries hard to speak fluently, but doesn't have a successful day unless they make 200 mistakes talking to locals in a foreign country. A proactive imperfectionist student does his best to ace practice exams, but doesn't stop studying for an exam until he gets 100 practice exam questions wrong. When you set a mistake quota, you are seeking discomfort, which is crucial because how much you grow depends on how much discomfort you're willing to experience. One mistake quota you could set this year is to experience at least 2 personal project failures. This could be a side hustle, a personal growth project, or a project related to one of your hobbies. If you don't encounter at least 2 failures in the coming year, you either didn't finish enough projects or those projects weren't challenging enough. If Adam Grant scored perfect 10s during his practice dives, he wasn't pushing his limits. A more productive use of his time would have been to start with a dive that earned him a 4 out of 10 from his coach, then work on it until he could get an 8 out of 10 on that dive. In competition, scoring an 8 out of 10 on a difficult dive would have been more valuable than a perfect 10 on an easy dive. Start taking a similar approach in your life. Work on most things until they're just good enough so you have more time to challenge yourself and explore your potential. Today's sponsor, Athena, gives you more time to explore your potential. Athena will pair you with an elite virtual assistant to 10x your delegation so you're free to focus on your highest impact tasks. I first heard about Athena on the Tim Ferriss podcast with Level CEO Sam Korkos. Korkos has his own Athena assistant and hires Athena virtual assistants for every leader in his company. He says anytime your highest leverage people are spending time on routine tasks that could be performed by someone else, it's not only a loss for the company, but it's limiting the person's ability to reach their full potential. Learning how to delegate effectively is perhaps the single most important skill that folks need to develop in order to transition into a leadership role, and yet many are reluctant to embrace it. To help you become a master delegator, Athena is offering Productivity Game viewers a $1,500 credit in the first month. Click the Athena link in the description below to explore what tasks an elite assistant can do for you and how much time you can free up to focus on what really matters. Now, back to the summary. A proactive imperfectionist not only seeks out mistakes, but they seek out criticism and hard truths that most people's egos simply can't handle. They look for people they respect and ask the following question: what one thing can I do to get better? Now that we covered the first part of the proactive imperfectionist player, let's cover the last part, the player. Reaching your potential requires incredible discipline. Discipline to do focused, deliberate practice several hours a week. Discipline to resist short-term pleasure and distraction to get long-term gains. But research shows that people with extreme discipline rarely use it. In other words, disciplined people stay disciplined because they don't rely on their willpower. In the famous marshmallow test, the disciplined children who resisted the marshmallows the longest didn't rely on willpower because they covered their eyes, covered their marshmallow, sat on their hands, or mushed the marshmallow into a ball and bounced it like a toy. These creative and playful strategies allowed them to be disciplined. You see a similar principle in the lives of people who excel at their sport, craft, or profession. Masters in all fields design and redesign their practice to be fun and effective by using an approach psychologists call deliberate play. A testament to the power of deliberate play is a basketball player once ranked a 3 out of 5 by high school recruiters and told he would never be a star in the NBA because he lacked explosiveness. That player is now regarded as the best shooter in NBA history, Stephen Curry. Early in his career, Curry worked with a trainer named Brandon Payne, whose motto was, "There is no boring in our workouts." Payne made every practice drill a game and always gave Curry a time to beat. Payne created games like Extreme 21, in which Curry had 1 minute to score 21 points with three-pointers, jump shots, and layups, but after each shot, he had to sprint to the middle of the court and back. The intensity of the game simulated a real game, and whatever score he got in one practice became the score he strived to beat in the following practice. Incorporate deliberate play into your deliberate practice to prevent your practice from turning into an emotionally draining, obsessive slog that leads to bore-out, which means you quit because you lose interest. When a girl in the book was losing interest in playing the violin, her mother brought her to a master musician named Evelyn Glennie, who challenged her to play pieces backward, come up with 10 ways to not play the violin, and incorporate sounds from her favorite TV show and her favorite animal while she played. The girl left the practice session excited to keep playing the violin. Be a proactive imperfectionist player by turning practice drills into games, like Curry's coach, injecting novelty, practicing in different locations, or switching up your equipment, alternating between skills, like playing different instruments, playing against the clock, and measuring your performance so you have a metric to beat in your next practice. The less practice feels like work, but still pushes you out of your comfort zone, the further you will go. Adam Grant says, without enjoyment, potential stays hidden. In the end, you will unlock your hidden potential and help your children unlock their full potential by focusing on 3 questions. Did I do my best today to seek discomfort and hit my mistake quota? Did I do my best today to seek advice and correct my mistakes? And did I do my best today to turn practice into play? If you and your children can consistently answer yes to those 3 questions, you will develop the character skills of a proactive imperfectionist player and be well on your way to achieving great things. That was the core message that I gathered from Hidden Potential by Adam Grant. Adam Grant does a fantastic job of compressing the latest research on potential and learning into an easy-to-read book. I highly recommend this book. If you would like a 1-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'll be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. If you like this video, please share it. And as always, thanks for watching and have yourself a productive week.